Hey, in today's video, I'm gonna walk you through this property that we just got finished flipping. We actually are closing with the new owner tomorrow. And what I wanna do is show you how real estate investing can be done. This is just one way of doing it. I wanna show you how we found this property. We got it for a really, really good deal. I'll explain to you how we found it. I wanna explain to you how we got this deal funded, what kind of financing we used to buy this property. I want to show you what we did to the property as far as repair and rehab. And then I'm going to break down for you how much we sold this property for and how long it took. And I'm going to show you how long it took for us to do all this. Let's go in and let me show you around. All right, guys, this is a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Again, we bought it in pretty good shape. I'm gonna show you what it looks like right now. It's got these nice vinyl floors in here. This was already here when we purchased it. It had actually already been painted. This was a rental property with an out-of-state property owner and out-of-state landlord. Tenant had moved out. It was kind of dirty. It needed to be cleaned up. But as far as paint, flooring, we didn't have to do any of that. We did have to get it cleaned. Bathrooms, we didn't have to tear anything out in here. Everything in here was kind of the way that you see it right now, other than just needing to be cleaned. It's got a big walk-in closet there. This house is only 960 square feet. And you know, when you buy smaller houses, even if you do have to totally redo it, it doesn't cost as much. So this is the second bathroom here. Again, we didn't have to touch any of this at all as far as tearing anything out, replacing anything. We basically just came in and we were able to just clean this thing up. And there were some things that needed to be done, which I'm gonna kind of go through in just a second, but I just want you to kind of see, we did have to put in a new dishwasher. We did have to put in a new range hood right there. Other than that, the appliances were here. Again, just needed to be cleaned up. So as you can see, we bought a really good house that really didn't need a ton of work done to it already. You know, I've done flips where we've had to do full renovations and it takes a long time and it takes a lot of money to do those. I would prefer not to do those kind of flips these days. Today, if I find a property like that needs a full rehab, needs a ton of work, I'm going to let a friend, another investor here in the local area take over that property. They'll pay me a finder's fee just for finding that deal for them, and they'll come in and they will take the risk and they will take the time to do that big flip. So I just wanted you to know, if you're kind of new to the investing world, you've probably watched some HGTV shows and you've seen how they do it on there. I personally don't like doing the full rehab jobs. I like to come in and do some cosmetic stuff, do some easy stuff, get in, do a couple weeks, 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks worth of doing some work, getting some things painted, getting some appliances swapped out, changing out a bathtub, you know, throwing on some countertops in the kitchen, something like that. I personally don't like doing the full renovation jobs, and you don't have to either. And by the way, if you are kind of new to investing, or you're looking to invest in the Tuscaloosa area, I want to tell you about the Tuscaloosa Real Estate Investor Club. It's an online Facebook group. You can find that group on Facebook and join it. We have a monthly meeting every single month with local investors and different speakers every single month on different topics. It's a great way to find partners. It's a great way to get to know other investors and what they might be looking for. You may do like I do, and if it doesn't fit what you're looking for, you may just assign it to somebody else. That would be called a wholesale deal, all right? If I go into a house, if I get a lead on a house and it needs a ton of work and it's gonna be 3 or 4 months of fixing it up, I personally am not doing that deal, but I know people who will. So I can still make a little bit of money without having all the risk involved in that. So let me go through with you how we found this deal. But before I do that, if you are getting some value out of this channel, out of these videos, please go ahead and like this video, hit that subscribe button, and push that bell to get notified anytime new content comes out. And feel free to comment below. Feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is all over this channel, and I talk to people every day about buying and selling and investing in the Tuscaloosa area. So how did we find this deal? Okay, this was a out-of-state property owner. She actually lived in California, and she had a tenant in here. And when the tenant moved out, it sat here vacant for a little bit. She was having to pay the payment while it was vacant. It needed some small things done. I'm gonna walk through with you and show you what those small things were. There was some work that needed to be done to this property, but it wasn't big things. But it was things that were kind of distracting to somebody that was looking at it. It was things that would make somebody think, well, I don't know if I wanna live here. But for us, they were easy for us to do, mainly because I'm local. So we found her through direct mail marketing. There's all kind of ways to find deals. You can go knock on doors. You can cold call people. You can put things out on social media. You can put up those, what they call bandit signs. You know, they say, we buy houses with a phone number on there. There are all kind of ways to find properties. But what I have found works best for me is inbound marketing. I don't cold call. I want them calling me. So we normally send out about 1,000 to 1,200 pieces of mail every single month. And we have a targeted list that we send that out to, and they get it every single month. And you'd be surprised how many times somebody that's been getting postcards from us for 6 months or 9 months, and they've never called, but all of a sudden something happens with their situation and they reach out to us and hey, I want to sell my house, Phil. Okay. I would much rather do that than be knocking on doors, bothering people, calling people, doing things that are outbound. I'm going out to try to find a deal. I would rather have them come to me when they're ready. So that's how we found this deal. The house was really not truly, distressed. It wasn't about to go into foreclosure. There wasn't a fire here or anything like that. It was simply just a property owner who was having to pay a payment every month, who didn't have the time or the ability, because of how far away they were, to really take care of this property and get it up to the standard it needed to be to rent it. So we came in, I'll go through the number that we gave out. We offered $85,000 initially on this property, and we were willing to take it with the work. We didn't even get it inspected. $85,000, we told her we could close in 10 days or less. She decided to shop around for higher offers, and she did get some higher offers. However, those higher offers had some contingencies, and she came back to us a few weeks later and said, hey, y'all's was the cleanest, most guaranteed deal. Are you still in? And I said, yes, absolutely. And we closed on it about maybe about 8 or 10 days after we had that phone call. So that's how we found the deal. So how did we fund this deal? It's one of the most common things that prevents people from investing in real estate is they think they've got to have the money to go buy the property. All right. You may decide that you want to put some money down and go to a bank. You could put 15% or 20% down and let the bank finance the rest for you. That's what most people think. And sometimes they don't have the 15 or 20% sitting in the bank ready to go, okay? Some people save up, and they just use their own cash. The problem with that method is you're gonna have a hard time buying properties fast enough to really do that on a grand scale over a period of time. You're gonna maybe buy one house a year, maybe 2 houses a year if you're doing good at that rate. What I do, and what most savvy investors do, is we use private money. If you've never heard of private money, it's gonna blow your mind when I tell you this maybe, but this is how we do it. So we have a list of people that we know, and these people are everywhere. You have friends like this, you have family members like this, you might have coworkers like this, but there are people out there that have 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 sitting in their bank account, and they're looking for something to do with it. So I have a list of those type people, and they have told me, hey Phil, if you find a deal and you need somebody to fund that deal, I would be willing to give you the money to do the deal. So when I got this house under contract, I started going through my list of private investors that I have. I have a spreadsheet with their names and their phone numbers and how many deals we've done together and how much money they're willing to give for a real estate deal like this. And normally, I never get past the second person on the list. Now, I try to spread them out. I try to keep it even. I try to give everybody some deals. But normally when I call and say, hey, I've got this deal for under contract for $85,000, we're gonna put about $5,000 or $10,000 into it, and we're gonna turn around and put it on the market and try to sell it for, we had this listed for $139,900 was our target price. We thought we could have went a little bit higher, but we decided to just go with the number we knew would get this house sold, and it did. So I got this house under contract. I said, yes, I can pay cash. I can close in 10 days. And we did. I just didn't use my cash, okay? So I'm out here every day making cash offers on properties, and I'm not personally using my cash. I'm using my private investors' cash, okay? So normally, all right, on a deal like this, if you're kind of new to this world and you're not really sure how to structure something like that, normally the private money lenders, the people that I know that have told me they're willing to give me money, we normally pay them back somewhere in the 10 to 12% kind of range. So higher than today's rates if you were to go, to a bank. If you went to a bank, you could probably get this house for 7.5% or 8.5% interest. The problem is, it takes some time to get the money from the bank. You're gonna have to go set an appointment. You're gonna have to go give them tax returns. You're gonna have to go give them your blood type. You're gonna have to give them your DNA sample. I'm just joking. But if you have bought a house in the last couple of years, even if you have an 800 credit score, it's a hassle going and dealing with a bank to get money. And I don't blame them. They're trying to protect their investment. But having private money allows you to go in and write offers on houses. Maybe I'm paying higher interest at 10%, which is what we did on this one. 10% is what we guaranteed. So our lender gave us $85,000. He wired it to the title company. It never came to my account. On the day that we closed, he wired it to that attorney's office. It was there in their account. And when we sell this house, I owe him back $8,500 plus 10%. So $85,000 plus $8,500. He's gonna make $8,500, and he didn't have to get the water connected. He didn't have to deal with some of the repairs I'm gonna tell you about here in just a minute. He just had the money, and he knew that I knew what I was doing. He was good with the numbers. He was good with the risk, sending pictures of the house. He funded the deal, and that is how we fund the vast majority of the deals that we are doing today. We are always talking to people who are interested in real estate investing, and some of them don't have the time to do what I do. Some of them don't have the energy to do what I do, because it's tough out here. I look at a lot of houses, and most of them are not deals. So when we find a good one, all right, we got to be able to close on it quickly. And if I'm using my own money, I might only be able to do one deal at a time. I bought 2 houses this week, okay? So having the private money, having those lenders who are looking, again, they would rather invest it in something like this than in Wall Street, in the stock market, in cryptocurrency, or letting it just sit in their savings account, collecting a very, very small percentage of interest. So we're gonna close on this house tomorrow. He's gonna get his $85,000 back plus $8,500 in interest, you know, it's a good deal for him. I want him to win. I want him to feel like, man, that was a good deal. I want to do the next one for Phil, the next one for Phil, and the next one for Phil. Okay, so that is how this world of real estate investing could potentially go for you, okay? You don't have to have the money. You don't have to have the cash. You just need to know where to go to find the cash. So let me take you through some of the repairs that we had to do to this property, other than, you know, cleaning it up, that kind of stuff there. I already kind of mentioned to you, the dishwasher that was in here was not working. So that is a brand new, it just got installed like 2 days ago. Brand new dishwasher. This range hood here was not working either. That's a brand new range hood. You can see the old one is there, and that's the box that the dishwasher came in. There was some damage down here around the baseboard by this back door here, probably just some moisture getting into the house. And then there was a couple things outside. Let me go through this with you real quick. These poles, these porch posts here on the front of the house were not even, they weren't even touching the ground. When we came up here, they were just loose and you could wiggle them. They were not holding this porch up at all. So we had to go back with all new stuff. Let me take you around the back, show you. The biggest repair was outside the house, which we did not expect going into this. We knew some of this other stuff needed to be done. Some of this siding had popped out. Luckily, it was in good shape, so we were able to just kind of pop it back in. And we paid somebody to come out here and go around the whole house and pop it back in where it needed to be. Luckily, that was not as much money as what we thought it was going to be. But our big expense on this house, which we did not expect going into this, was this septic tank, okay? So it might be kind of hard to tell in the video, but they came out and did a septic inspection, and they found out that the pump on this septic tank had gone bad. So if somebody would have moved in here when they were flushing the toilets, all that kind of stuff, it would not have been pumping that wastewater out correctly, which would have been a big, big deal. So that ended up being about $1,600 for that pump. And again, when we fund a deal the way that we did this one, we use our private money lender. We use their money to buy the house. I use my money to do the repairs and the rehab, okay? Very rarely do I have one person giving me the money for the house and the repairs. Normally, I'm gonna do one of those, okay? Depending on how big of a job that it is. But all in all, repairs on this house was a little bit less than 10,000 bucks. So let me run through the numbers on this property for you. So again, we bought this property for $85,000. We owe $85,000 plus $8,500 in interest. So that's $93,500. We put about $10,000 worth of repairs into this house. There's actually a HVAC guys coming to replace the capacitor on the HVAC unit that was discovered that it was going out as well. And we don't want the new homeowner moving in here and their HVAC going out the first weekend they're here. So we're paying a little bit extra to really make sure these folks have a good experience. But all in all, we were able to buy this property. We were able to get the water turned on, get the power turned on, get it cleaned up, do all these repairs, get it on the market. Okay, we put it on the market at a weird time of the market, like middle part of July. Everybody's getting ready to go back to school. Houses typically don't sell very well in the Tuscaloosa area around that time of year. It picks back up later into August. So we put it on the market at $139,900, which we felt like was very fair. I mean, this is a move-in ready house for $139,900. It qualifies for USDA financing, which means that the buyer, because of where this house sits, it's in a rural area, they would not have to put a down payment down. You can't hardly even find a move-in ready house anywhere in Tuscaloosa anymore for under $200,000. So we put it on the market for $139,900, and it sat for a little bit. but we knew it was just the time of year. We knew the price was right. We knew the house looked good. So we let it sit there for a little bit, had some showings. We were able to get an offer under contract, and we closed tomorrow for $143,000. So we are paying realtor commissions. We're paying a good part of their closing costs. There were a couple other things that we negotiated into the deal, but all things said and done, we're looking at walking away on this property with right at $34,000 in profit. So not bad for one that really was not a big flip. It wasn't very risky. It didn't take months and months and months of fixing it up and finding things that we weren't expecting. Again, we found some things we weren't expecting, but we weren't opening up walls and finding out that walls were rotten. We weren't opening up the roof and finding out that the roof needed to be replaced. So overall, we minimized our risk by buying a house that didn't need a full renovation. We could get in and get out pretty quickly, and that's what we're looking to do. So if I can help you anyway, if you have any questions about investing, you have any questions about buying or selling, feel free to reach out anyway. I hope this video was a big help to you. Let's just check and see if anybody had the appraiser's phone number. I know he called me, but I didn't save his number. It wasn't a guy that I knew. I just want to make sure that we weren't going to get dinged for having dead bugs in here. So we had the place sprayed. And when I was in the pest control business, we would, start somebody on pest control service, and a few days later, they would call me and say, "Hey, Mr. Phil, I've got dead roaches everywhere in my house. I need y'all to come back out." Okay, ma'am. Well, you want me to come out and bring them back to life for you? Okay, so the bugs that are in here, there are some dead bugs in the floor, but they're dead. So I hope we don't get dinged for having dead bugs. If he wants me to come back out here and try to revive them, I'll try. But please, let's. If I can get in touch with him, I'd like to have that conversation.